Welcome to Biztech's Technology Show, where we feature tech companies that are innovating and transforming the tech landscape. Today's featured company is GCash, which is the #1 financial app in the Philippines. And our guest today is Martha Sazon. She's the president and CEO of Mynt, the operator of GCash. Martha, welcome to the show.
Morning, Brian. Thank you for inviting me here.
Now, Martha, give us an overview of GCash does and what its history is. After all, you're part of Globe Telecom.
Yeah, okay. So GCash, it's an app. It's an app that turns your mobile device into a virtual wallet. It digitalizes payments, it enables fund transfers, and provides access to various financial services. Our vision for GCash is finance for all. Each one of our digital services was designed to make Filipinos' everyday lives better. It started actually in 2004 under Globe Telecom then, and since then it has gained new shareholders with Ayala Corporation, Ant Group, and more recently. Since its launch, it has changed the face of the fintech industry with innovative solutions in cashless payments, financial services, and recently with the launch of GLive, our e-commerce leg. But actually, it started as an SMS service. The past year was a trying time for all of us with the pandemic and the unique challenges that it has brought us. But it also provided a great opportunity for GCash to both shine and serve. Businesses and consumers alike felt the urgency to find a safe and secure way to transact. And good thing that GCash was ready for this sudden surge in demand.
Now, give us a sense of the size of your business in terms of customers and transactions.
So, from 20 million in around 2019, we ended the year 2020 at 33 million. But actually, by end April, we're already at 40 million registered users.
So you've essentially doubled in less than 2 years.
Yes, that's right. So that represents around 40% of Filipinos now having a GCash account.
What has been the key success factors of this adoption? Did the pandemic really accelerate? Obviously, it's accelerated your growth. Do you think that that's one of the key reasons why you have accelerated?
Well, definitely that's one. When the world closed down, we were there. We were there to help and serve our countrymen. But more than that, I think we were ready. We've, as I said, this started 2004. So it's been decades of preparation for the team. I recently joined GCash actually back in June last year, and I was pleasantly surprised by the team because the team has been really working hard on adoption, on developing a really good product that would serve the needs of our community. And what's good is that when the world closed down on the people, GCash was ready to serve their needs.
So obviously, so what you're saying, if I understand, is the building blocks were all there. So you could take, and also you had the right people. So you could take advantage of the disruption and accelerate.
Yes. And it's not like we had to pivot, right?
Yes.
The purpose has always been there. So the people in GCash has always been purpose driven. The platform, we actually migrated to the A+ platform right in the middle of the pandemic. But that migration allowed us to be more stable, secure, and allow us to really take care of the millions of customers, of the surge in customers. So I think it's the stars aligning. Right.
Now you're the mobile wallet arm of Globe Telecom. Now,
well, not really. Not just. We are a neutral platform, actually.
Okay.
So
because you have obviously other partners like Ant and Ayala Corporation as well, as you mentioned. But what's the strategy? Is the vision really about building a cashless ecosystem? Talk to us about it.
Yeah. So first of all, we are a neutral platform. Despite the ownership that we have, we carry all types of players, whether it's telco, it's the various bills pay partners, everything. So we don't discriminate as to who to partner with. Okay, so and we are very much purpose driven. As I said, it's towards our journey towards finance for all. Bank penetration in the Philippines is very low, at around 35%, and therefore there's a big opportunity to include the excluded, right, and to offer financial services to people, and what's good is that we have this world-class platform that allows to to onboard electronically people because we don't have national IDs.
Yes,
So
that's
that
right.
way we're able to verify even with those people, even those people who don't have documents or who don't have IDs, we can help them get onboarded and fully verified, and therefore take advantage of the various features that GCash offers, which is not just about payments actually. We also are able to offer them financial services that normally wouldn't be enjoyed by anyone who don't have a bank account, right? And even transact in the e-commerce platform. So that's what we provide.
And you see, Martha, and that's a critical opportunity because across Southeast Asia, you have a big portion of the population which is underbanked and unbanked. So obviously, what you are doing is facilitating financial inclusion by incorporating all these people, especially Philippines, which is very geographically spread out. So not everywhere, there's actually banking services. So this has really enabled, obviously, the general population to participate and be financially included. But what sort of products and services are you offering this bottom of the pyramid customer who perhaps has had access to bank accounts or financial transactions for the first time beyond cash?
So first of all is to get onboarded to the platform without them having this set of IDs that normally would be required by a bank, right? So that in itself is already inclusion, right? So it opens up all the possibilities and all the services that GCash has to offer. Um, it's uh, it's important to note that last year we were able to help the government distribute financial aid to to people in need. So we were the most awarded in terms of the financial aid. So we were able to distribute around 16 billion pesos to more than 2 million subscribers, right?
Wow.
2 million uh, people, Filipinos that were in need. So imagine those set of people who are unbanked to get onboarded, and what would have taken the government 952 days to distribute financial aid, it took us only several days. So
I see.
that in itself is already, I think, a big push for the government, getting people on board a cashless platform. Also, we were able to donate, facilitate donation, digital donation to the people in need, especially when we were hit not just by the pandemic, but even the typhoon. So these two big events allowed us to reach further the unbanked, right? And to set them up for proper services so that they can do payments. So the services that we offer are payments, financial services, and e-commerce. So on payments, we allow people to buy load. As you know, Philippines is largely a prepaid country, so
Yes.
people need to buy load when normally they'd have to go to their community stores or convenience stores just to get a load. With GCash, they can do that at the comfort of their homes, right? Secondly, so apart from buy load, to receive and send money, so there's like 1.6 million merchants inside our system right now, social sellers and merchants. So when the world closed down, when merchants had to close down their shops, we were there. They went to our platform so that they could pay their vendors, receive payments from their customers, and keep the economy growing and keep their business growing, right? So we also have bills pay. So it allows people to pay for electricity, for water, to buy essentials like groceries and medicines, all at the comfort of their homes. So as a payment option, as a payment platform, we do all of that and even more, right? Those are just samples of what we do in the payment space. We also have financial services. You mentioned about financial services earlier. In fact, 30% or more than 30% of our regular users are subscribed already to financial services.
Okay, and what are they using right now in terms of those financial services?
So what's good is that we've partnered early with CIMB. So CIMB is really trailblazing when it comes to this. And we have the services that we offer is GSave. We have savings, we have investment, we have insurance, and we even have lending, credit and lending. So on the savings, that's where we partnered with CIMB. And we have around 4 million subscribers already on that. So imagine it combines both the affluent and even the advanced being able to get a savings account via GCash.
And this is amazingly transformative because essentially the farmer in Luzon who may have only in the past have to borrow money from money lenders suddenly has access to financial services and is able to borrow at much more reasonable rates.
Yes, but not only that. I mean, the people in need normally, as you said, they're the ones who are actually subjected to higher rates, right? Because they also don't have documents. With GCash and with our GScore, which is a best-in-class credit scoring, because we have this rich data to analyze and to profile you and to check if you're a good payer or not. We don't need documents from you. Whereas in normal credit institutions, you have to submit your payslip or your income statement or anything that's proof of your ability to pay. With us, we just analyze your transactions and we score you. You actually have a credit score just by using GCash. And with that GScore, we're able to extend credit if you are qualified without having to submit requirements. And that changes a lot of things, especially in the Philippines, where as I've said before, the bank penetration is very low. So, and as you said, we're able to extend credit at more reasonable terms.
Now, walk us through, you've just announced a new initiative called GInvest. Together with your partners at Trem Trust as well as Seedbox. Walk us through that because that's really targeted at very young Filipinos, isn't it?
We're very excited about it. First of all, the investment penetration in the Philippines is quite low. It's less than 1%. So we thought that, okay, how would you... So it's for the elite. It's seen as for the elite and for those who really are very knowledgeable about it. But how can you achieve financial freedom if you don't have access to these financial services, right? So we thought of, we've only started with UITF so far, but we've introduced several funds that are more attractive and allows people to invest even in global funds. Global funds like funds that carry Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google. So these things are like big in the Philippines. Imagine a student or a young professional who's just starting suddenly can now invest in these funds when before you had to have like thousands of pesos or even a private bank account just to get access to global funds. Now with just a few taps and for as low as $20 for global funds or $1 even for local funds, you can have your own, you can set up your own investment fund. And we've seen that the UITF in less than 2 months has tripled. What's good is that we employ this two-pronged marketing approach. So we provided access, provided affordability, and the third is education. So we're doing expert expert education. So we've tapped the investor community, and they've done like videos, short form, long form. They are in TikTok, in YouTube, in IG stories, in FB. So we're changing the game on how to educate people on investment and making it really more accessible to people. The other part of marketing is consumer marketing, where we compare, we try to demystify investment in the eyes of a regular Filipino. So things like, oh, instead of buying a milk tea, you can save that money and just buy an investment product, because
Yes.
as low as 50 pesos you can get an investment product, right? So, or instead of buying a Starbucks, you can save that money and just put it on investment. So people now understand it because we relate it to their everyday lives. So it's a really exciting space, and we're just starting, and there's a long roadmap ahead of us.
Now, talk to us about GLive, which you mentioned earlier in this interview, and what's the strategy there?
Okay, so GLive is like our e-commerce platform that allows people to get access to their favorite brands, shop, play, eat, um, uh, all inside GCash. Main proposition is that in the Philippines, while a lot of people have smartphone, the main problem or the main challenge really is the memory on their phones. So people have to prioritize which apps to download, and they have to preserve the memories in their phones. With GLive, because your favorite brands are now inside GCash, you don't have to download each and every app, right? So it's convenience, but secondly, it's practicality. So you don't have to prioritize and choose the apps because they're already on GCash. So that's the proposition among consumers. But among businesses, how we are helping businesses is that this pandemic has really opened the eyes of a lot of merchants and businessmen, and the importance of going digital and establishing digital footprint. But the problem really is they don't even know where to start, right? Where to begin. So while the desire is there, a lot of these businessmen don't even know who to tap, how to get there, right? So that's what we offer in GCash. We have ISVs. We can point you to ISVs. We can refer you to logistics companies, even customer service companies, and we can put it all together for you so you can establish your own app inside our app. Not to mention the fact that by doing that, you get instant access to our 40 million registered users. So it's a big win for businesses, right?
You're basically making yourself the center of the payments ecosystem in the Philippines. So what's the expansion plans for GCash moving forward?
Well, the expansion plan is really a lot on financial services. So on savings, we're partnering with more banks so that people can have more access to different types of savings needs that they have, and we are getting more creative on that. On investment, as I said, we're just starting with UITF. There's a long roadmap out there. Investment space is so exciting, right? So innovation will happen sooner than you think, right? On insurance, we recently launched actually a COVID dengue insurance. Health insurance is quite challenging here in the Philippines. So we've partnered with Globe so that every time they buy a dollar SKU or a dollar of data pack, they get free COVID insurance. At a certain point, we've even doubled the insurance policy availment in the Philippines. So we're expanding also the offerings in that space, and most importantly, of course, lending. So we have a portion of lending that's in partnership with CIMB. We are a big player in the buy now, pay later space, but we're expanding our presence even further in this space by launching new products quite very soon.
In the buy now, pay later, how do you provide the credit? Is that back? Are you taking the credit risk, or is that going to be something that is offset to somebody else?
It's a hybrid.
Okay.
So we do different models with different partners, right?
Okay.
So but what's good is that we are protected by our GScore. It's a really best in class way of scoring, and we've compared our performance versus other financial institutions last year and this year, and we found out that ours is performing really well.
Because you've got this rich data of knowledge, so that there's two approaches. There isn't really a centralized credit bureau in the Philippines. Are you thinking of perhaps opening that up to other people to tap on in terms of a credit scoring bureau?
Oh yes. As I said, as a platform, our strategy is to partner with everyone. With rather than compete, we are there to enable different industries, different institutions that need our services. In fact, we've pioneered one with Globe. So we offer like a fast lane for their postpaid applications. So if you have a GCash and your GScore passes that threshold, and then you can have easy application for a Globe line. So and we are further extending that to other institutions that need our services. So that's on financial services. We're also expanding to new segments. We recently launched our campaign on international. As you know, we have a lot of overseas foreign workers abroad,
Yeah.
and remittance is a very big thing in the Philippines. It's a major part of our economy, and we are offering this service so that it's more convenient. Everything's digital, and also it's more economical for our OFWs abroad to send their money back here. Not to mention the fact that they are more in control of the funds because they can even pay bills straight from
Correct.
their abroad, right? So they know where the money is really going. So that's
absolutely. Instead of sending the money home and then it's distributed, they can basically distribute their hard-earned money and make sure that things are paid for and invested and so forth.
You're correct. You're correct. So it has created a buzz just weeks after our launch, and that will further expand, of course. And the development is really how to make the experience even more seamless.
It's very interesting because isn't that literally a backdoor way of you going international? Because Filipinos are all over the world working in the Middle East, in Europe, in the rest of Southeast Asia and Singapore. And obviously that's your footprint for GCash out of the Philippines.
You know, we are guided by, as I said, our purpose, right? And we're very conscious about the insights, what the trends are, what the experiences are of Filipinos, whether here or abroad, and how we can enable that. And OFW is a big segment in the Philippines, so that's what we are. So more than like a business opportunity, it starts with what's the consumer opportunity.
Yeah, and the need, right?
What's the need?
This
right?
is a needs-driven opportunity identification.
Yes, yes. So we're also doing data monetization through advertising and marketing. So we're doing a lot of that. So in terms of expansion, that way we can keep the platform largely free. Right. So that's the model that we are pursuing.
Final question, Martha. Now you are a business leader with decades of experience in your corporate career. You were in consumer goods, then you were in telco, obviously with Globe Telecom, and now you're in the payment space. What are 3 key business lessons that you've learned in your corporate career that you could share with other business leaders?
First of all, it's always to be in touch with customers and the consumers. What's the need, right? Always have that ear on insights. Because if there's a need, there's a friction, then there's a play for you. So as long as the purpose is about improving the lives of your customers or your consumers, that's a right path to get into. And then the business, the commercial part would follow, right? And it's always about offering trying to offer the best customer service out there. So when there's a friction, there's something to disrupt. Right. So that's the first lesson. Second is the type of leadership, right? That one can employ. My type of leadership is the transformational type of leadership, always looking for that growth, being agile and nimble and flexible. Yes, there are processes, but don't let processes bog you down, because more and more things are going faster and faster, and consumers are evolving faster than we anticipate, right? So you always have to be agile and think of like, okay, what's the next big thing, and how can we help our people get to that. The third is around actually my own purpose, really. If you're and this I learned quite recently, like in the last 5 to 10 years only, is being purpose driven. It's important that anchor is deeper than objectives, financial objectives or business objectives, because there are so many hurdles along the way. So but when you're anchored to a purpose, then it allows you to be more resilient, more creative, and more caring for the customers that you're serving. Personally, my purpose is about unlocking the potential of the people and entities that I care for, right? And so that people can realize that, oh, I can do it. I didn't realize I can do it, right? So increasing the potential of everyone, unleashing the potential of everyone. And that's the same with business, right? The business that you care about and the customers that you also serve. So that allows us to carry on a longer path, as Simon Sinek says, on an infinite game, right?
Martha, thank you very much for sharing your insights and for taking the time to be on the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Brian. I enjoyed this talk.
I'm Brian Fernandez, and I've been speaking to Martha Sazon, President and CEO of Mynt, the operator of fintech leader GCash, on Biztech's Technology Show. This video will be on our Facebook and LinkedIn sites, as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please subscribe or like our various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.